She got close enough, and she scratched the horse's head. The horse got continuously worse, 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 sickened and finally died. The value of the horse was given in pounds, 4 pounds. County court stopped using pounds and went over to dollars about 1889. So the last use of British currency would have been around that time. Also, we are told by Henry that this event was taken up by the Court of Quarter Sessions. We will also find, if we look in the literature, 3 other accounts of the same story coming out of the Court of Quarter Sessions, and all based on the same piece of paper used by the judge. In my book on Hexenkopf, you can see that the text of this trial. The woman admitted she was a witch. When neighbors accused her of having sickened and worsened Justice of the Peace's horse, she said, "Yeah, I did that. That's what I do. I'm a witch." So the local magistrate didn't have much choice except to indict her, send her off to court. The judge is obviously a bit skeptical about all this, and he listens to the whole thing. "Yeah, I scratched this." "Yeah, how many times did you scratch it?" "Well, I forgot." It's a disturbed woman. She's known as Widow S.B., and he's known as the Justice of the Peace, is known as Justice W. There are plenty of S.B.s in Williams Township. 2 of the reports are distinctly different, and both are based on the unusual judgment format. There was a time period at which the court used a sheet of paper, one sheet of paper, in which to describe the crime and to describe the adjudication. In the middle of the page, in handwriting, was described what the punishable event might be. After the judges had ruled on it, the judgment was written around the margin in a circular fashion, coming in towards the text of the indictment. Wow, that is weird. You ever see a court document done that way? Well, the 2 authors, the second author who reports on this is a Lutheran minister from Easton who wrote it up for a Sunday school magazine for Lutheran children. And he describes the same events. He says a few things differently. He gives us the initials of the woman. He tells us that the last line of text of the judgment overlapped the text of the indictment. This is 1970, and I'm new in Williams Township, and I'm fascinated by this. And I've got students at Lehigh always interested in money. So I hired a young lady named Peggy Kiddick. She died last year. But we trundled off to the clerk of quarter sessions, and I said, I want Peggy to go through each and every indictment, because I don't have a date. I want to see if this occurred. I haven't got the time to sit here and do one by one, but I'll pay Peggy for it. After some crapping around, the archivist gave us permission, and we started the project. It took Peggy about 2 weeks. Her stopping point was to stop when we rolled over from pounds to dollars. And when we started to see dollars. Damned if she didn't find a time period and a set of judges in the Northampton County Court of Quarter Sessions who used this bizarre format of the piece of paper with the indictment in the middle and the penalty around the outside. It looks like it was one judge sitting from 1754 to 1789. And he was fond of getting the whole damn thing on one sheet of paper. That was stake was than anything else. So I don't think Matthew Henry was BSing us. And I don't think Peggy Kitty found the missing piece of paper, because that must have been so bizarre and interesting that a couple dozen people would have stolen it long before I got there. All right, if it's not too wet tonight, we are on for a visit from a group called the Ugolans. They believe in a savior goddess named Frau Halle, H-O-L-L-E. Frau Halle rescues the souls of worthy, recently deceased people. And in the United States, Hexenkopf is her headquarters. In Germany, it's the Brocken. So she harvests up these souls and she takes them into the rock where they go to meet their God and Maker, with salvation being the purpose, not torture. We worship Frau Halle. I've seen statues. This group always asks us permission. Linda's hoping to high heaven they come tonight because they leave us with the most delicious whole grain, freshly baked bread. We've told them it ain't our rock no more. It's the county's rock. You don't need our permission to be there. Well, and anyway, they drop off the logo. They take the crevice down there in the middle between the east and west pinnacles of the Hexenkopf Rock, and they create an altar, sometimes two altars. They have politely told me I'm not invited to their ceremonies, but they'll give me all the pictures I want. So this is Frau Halle, I believe in plaster. Another Frau Halle on the right here. These altars are small stools, about maybe 18 inches by 18 inches, covered with a napkin and covered with food and sacred remembrances. This is a group that visited the last time. One of the women is a librarian at Kutztown, and knew both Linda and yours truly. The rest of them we don't know anything about. The high priest is Robert Schwender. He's the guy on the far left. And they are getting old too, and it's getting wet. They may not be there tonight. So, you're invited. Want to come and see a Walpurgisnacht? You don't need my permission anymore, just come. It's awful rocky and it's awful slippy now. So be warned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you get into the rock?
Yes. That's a work in progress, but right now, there's going to be a 6-car parking lot at the west end of Hexenkopf. We didn't have Hexenkopf Rock frontage the whole way along that side. So the most direct way in is across the woods, the Holmes family. They don't usually say no. It's a short 30-step walk right up the rock from the house.